Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and today we're in a little bit of a different spot. I wanted a little bit of a Christmas background because we're gonna do a little bit of a different video. So typically I do all, crochet and knit related content, and today is really no different there, but I wanted to go over something really special with you. So last year when I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, the real reason I wanted to was because a couple years ago, my grandmother gifted me this magazine. This is a vintage magazine and it came out December of 1975. It is full of, as it says, beautiful decorations, gift ideas, crafts, cookies, cakes, and just all kinds of cool crafty things. So I wanted to go over it a little bit with you because I found it so interesting. This is also a sneak peek into next week's video because we are going to be crocheting a pattern out of this magazine for Christmas, and I will share that with you as we go through the magazine. When I received this magazine a couple years ago, my husband and I just sat down and we went through it, and it was really just interesting to see the difference in the world in 1975 versus now 2024. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in learning more about, or just taking a deep dive back into the 70s, or if you were alive in the 70s and you feel like reminiscing, stick around. There's a lot of interesting things through this that I thought we could go over together. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. I made a little cup of tea, so I'm gonna sit here, drink my tea, and go through this with you. I don't actually even remember too much in here, so it's gonna feel like I'm seeing it for the first time as well. But without further ado, let's get into our December 1975 McCall's Christmas Magazine. This magazine cost 75 cents when she bought it brand new. All right, so jumping right into the magazine, I remember from looking at it the first time that a really big part of this magazine was cigarette ads. They are literally on almost every other page. It's so funny to me, being someone who's in their late 20s, where advertising cigarettes as something that's cool was never really a thing that happened when I was alive, at least not for years that I remember advertisements. It really started to push that whole stop smoking and get your kids off smoking thing. But it's really funny to look through this magazine and see all of the ads that are for smoking. It's crazy. They try to make the cigarettes look so appetizing. And also just the illustrations in this magazine are so beautiful. They're so fun. You don't see stuff like that anymore. Even this back drawing of this little girl and her dog. I used to have this haircut as a kid, which is really funny, but this is just such a precious picture and so well drawn. I just love seeing stuff like that. So we will just open up and start going through. I have to be really careful because this magazine, like I said, is just so old. I'm so glad it's in the condition it even is in anymore. And yeah, the first page we open up to, a smoking ad. So ridiculous. Also remember seeing a lot of really funny ads for coupons. They weren't meant to be funny, but they're funny now. Just because of what percentage you would get off in today's world, I don't even think you'd bother bringing that coupon to the store with you, but it is really funny to see an ad for 7 cents off some butter or something like that. I think that's one of them that we're gonna find in here. Anyway, I'm just gonna go through this. I'll share the really fun pages with you that I find, and if you happen to remember any of these types of ads or products, definitely let me know in the comments. I would love to hear if any of these are nostalgic for you guys who were alive in 1975. Also, if you have any vintage crochet magazines or anything like that, let me know that too. I would love to know if you still have any laying around. This is my only one I have, but I am grateful even just to have the one. So here's a cool ad for some shoes so you can see kind of what was in style then. This says "Stay Home with Daniel Green." These are just supposed to be almost, I think, bougie house shoes or something like that, but they have 3 different styles here, and they are all ranging from $9 to $12, which I cannot even imagine a world where you can get a luxury shoe like this. It says sold at a fine department or shoe store everywhere for $12. Are you kidding? I would have one in every pair at this point. But it really goes to show how much inflation has affected the cost of things and just how much more expensive everything is now. That's one of the craziest things to me looking through these old magazines. Of course, I know people were making a lot less money, so $12 back then I'm sure was obviously a lot more money, but it's just a really funny thing to look at and see. We have another cigarette ad here, and on the next page here, this was a really cool one I saw and wanted to share with you. This is any 11 records or tapes for $1.86. So it just gave you all these choices of records you could choose, or tapes, whatever you prefer or whatever you have at home, I guess. And you could just send in this little mailer here with whichever ones you wanted, and you would get those sent to your house, I'm guessing. It's pretty cool to see too. My grandma still has this thing intact, so where you would fill fill this out and send it back into. Sometimes I really wonder about sending these back in and seeing, I mean, of course we'd probably get return postage, but it'd be funny to think if they're still around, if they would get a kick out of getting back a mailer from 1975. We have a really classic page here just with some books for children on them. We got Big Bird, we have Mr. Charlie Brown and Snoopy and a couple other characters there, Curious George. And let's see if we can see how much these were. These books seem a little more, oh, maybe it's just this one. The Snoopy one is a little more expensive. $6.95 seems like quite a bit of money to me, considering the shoes were $12. So that's kind of fun to see too. Oh, we have a Tanqueray ad. I wish the bottles still looked like this, or at least the box they came in. Tanqueray is my favorite choice of alcoholic beverage, but here is a really beautiful ad for Tanqueray. I love the design here. The drawing is so cool. I wish I had just, honestly, this container. I think that is so awesome. Okay, here we have come across our very first page of coupons that I wanted to share with you. So they have some ads for how to make Rice Krispies, and this other one that you're making here is, let me see if it says, I don't actually know what this recipe is. Has to be somewhere. I don't see it actually. I don't know what this cake is supposed to be. Maybe it's just, oh, it's just actually advertising the freeze-dried coffee here. But the fun thing about these is that the coupons on here are save 10 cents on Kellogg's Rice Krispies, save 10 cents on Blue Bonnet margarine, and then these ones are a big banger, and you can save 30 cents on any size jar of Taster's Choice 100% freeze-dried coffee. So that is just fun to see. I love looking at this stuff. And they do have the recipes here too. So go ahead and screenshot if you're interested in these. But I did really want to show you that. I just found that to be so interesting and so cute. On the back side here, we have some punch. They are trying to get their lemon juice advertised. And then if you were going to use the Blue Bonnet margarine, they have a recipe for that too. These look like they are, what is this? Holiday Magic Cookie Bars. So there's a recipe for that too. Screenshot if you're interested. And after that, there is kind of like the monthly newsletter for women, what's happening right now. Like I told you, I love the illustrations. I love how they did almost like an all newspaper thing here with just black words, and then they filled it all in with the pink. I think that is so pretty. I love the way that looks, and I don't see that in any type of publication media or anything like that. I don't ever feel like I see that. Here's just a couple lines in here that women still outlive men by 8 years, but men's longevity is now 68 to women's near 76. So I wonder what's happened to that in the last couple of years. I would have to look that up. Good news is that auto accident death rate is down 15% in 1970. So we love to see that. This is something I could really sit here and read truly every single one of these to you. This is another cool thing. In the last academic year, female enrollment in law school rose by almost 5,000, making the total number of women now in law school 21,788. Woohoo! Go women getting their law degrees. Again, I would love to know the difference there with that. But seriously, this is something I could sit and read through for hours. I'm just obviously quickly going over it with you. I will see what else is very interesting to learn in here. This page is funny too because they have presents for the paranoid, which would be me. I think it's all about alarms and stuff like that, which is something we almost all have now, our Ring cameras and whatnot. Again, with the beautiful artwork, this hearth is just so cute. And it's talking about hazards of the hearth, so not to keep your stockings or anything near that, which is pretty good advice if you ask me. I think this is just honestly an entire ad from the fire department that they put out here, and how to put out something if in fact you do end up with an accidental fire in your fireplace. This page is quite interesting as well because there is a whole section in here on how to raise a competent child. So there's that. Very straightforward. Maybe some people in the world today need to read that. I won't say though because I haven't read it. I'm not sure what it says. This is actually crazy because it's just talking about what to do to be a successful mother versus an unsuccessful mother. I don't know how true that stands. I feel like probably every child and every mother is a little bit different. If you ever feel like just pausing the screen and reading what is on the page, I will try to make sure it's as clear as possible in case you want to read through it. I'm not going to sit here and read all of these now myself, but I might go through later tonight and just reread these. there is a really funny ad in here that I wanted to read to you, and this one is called Rent a Granny. So this is in the column of survival in the suburbs, in case you're wondering, and it says nearly all adults occasionally long for a grandmother or grandfather who would make their lives richer, and there are plenty of retired and elderly people who wish they could do something meaningful and earn money at the same time. Ann Beckham of Albuquerque, New Mexico put these ideas together with a program called Rent a Granny, an employment agency that she runs completely on a volunteer basis. Over the past 2 years, she has found paid positions for over 5,000 men and women past the age of 55, which I don't think I would consider 55 to be a granny, but okay, in such a work as childcare, chauffeuring, bookkeeping, and other specialized jobs. For a packet of information on how to set up the program, send $1 to Ann Beckham at her address in New Mexico. So that is crazy. Can you imagine the amount of psychos that probably signed up for that? Because you know there was no background checking back then. So that is really crazy times, but maybe it helped a lot of people out. I don't know. I really can't say, obviously. I wish my grandma was still around so I could ask her some questions, or if she remembers any kind of stuff like this. I don't know if this magazine was specific to where she lived in Ohio. I don't know. I don't know anything about the McCall magazine, but maybe this was one that was just kind of put out for everyone. Here's a funny ad too. This one is for a brand called Sheer Energy, and it says, have your legs ever felt so tired walking seemed like climbing? And we could not figure out what the heck this ad is for. I think they're just for a pair of sheer tights, but it's supposed to give your legs an all-day massage and give you energy. I don't know, but this is the ad. It's nice and bright and colorful, so we do love that. It's pretty funny. There's a whole column in here about women on the job and what this magazine thinks about women working. A whole section called, do you look older than your husband? Because that would be a freaking sin. But this is all about how to stay youthful and young. A ad for Olay mostly in here. More illustrations on this page. Gorgeous, gorgeous illustration work here. I can imagine they put a lot of time and effort into these magazines. I mean, I'm sure they still do nowadays, but it really just looks like there was probably a lot of time and care put into the drawings here. This is a movie guide for puzzled parents. Monthly listings to help you answer the question, but is it really all right for the kids? And I assume that it is basically a Cliff Notes version of all of the really popular movies at the moment. It's just hard to imagine something like this because nowadays you would just Google it and look it up really quickly, but obviously you couldn't do that. So the movies that they are talking about in this particular ad of this December catalog is Hearts of the West, Hester Street, Hustle, Royal Flash, Lies My Father Told Me, Shark's Treasure, not to be mistaken with Jaws, Swept Away, and The Sunshine Boys. None of those movies ring a bell to me. Again, let me know if you've heard of any of those. I would just love to know. Another cigarette ad. We move on. We have an entire page on here dedicated to Miss Julia Child, and it looks like she is going to be teaching you how to make a chocolate log cake, which probably is pretty good if it's a Julia Child recipe. Yeah, a scrumptious Yule log. So that is a whole entire page in here. Very lovely. Let's see. Blue Diamond Almond has a recipe here as well. It looks like it's for some kind of a bundt cake or something like that. Not really too sure, but I'm sure it's delicious. Here's a great question you should be asking yourself every day. They put a man on the moon. Why can't they cover my grays without changing my natural color? That's what we're worried about as women, you know? This is a great outfit we have here. This woman is wearing her little apron with some kind of dress on underneath. I don't know exactly what she is wearing this for, but there is a really cute picture. I love looking at all the clothes too. It's so fun to look at all that. This lady is giving a peace sign, so she must be super hip and cool. This is the lady who is covering her gray hair without changing her hair color. A funny little snippet that I just read when I was just glossing over this page is this line that says, I think I'm going cuckoo until my best friend, who I could have sworn never colored her hair, tells me she uses this hair lotion. I think cuckoo is not a word that you would ever see in a magazine nowadays. So just funny to see that. And the ad ends with, now if we could just put a woman on the moon. That is the last line of this ad. Here we have another really gorgeous outfit. I wish I knew. Oh, okay, so these are all outfits you could make on certain pages of the magazine. They're just giving it a full page to show off its glory. I did notice a lot in this magazine. A lot of the time they would show something and then tell you to go to a later page in the magazine to see it. I don't know if that was a tactic to get you to look through the entire magazine, because if it is, that's pretty smart, to be honest. It definitely had me looking through the entire magazine, but either way, I love the fashion. This next page is all just how to decorate your house for Christmas. So decorating your plants, reading bedtime stories, recycling wrappings, and how to set up your table runners. So that's always important to know. We have an entire list on here from a column called Understanding Your Pet, and it is animals you should not own. Things you shouldn't own, just so you are aware in case you are ever looking into trying to domesticate these animals, are a cheetah. Do not own a cheetah. Do not own a pet raccoon. Do not own a pet coyote. They will attack and go crazy for no apparent reason. That's what it says, in case you were ever wondering. There's a whole little section in here reading about how just because they romanticize it in the movies and TV does not mean owning them is a good idea. The list of wild animals that are for sale nowadays reads like the inventory of Noah's Ark. So there you go. They definitely had some feelings on this. No monkeys, no squirrels, no foxes, no lions, no skunks, no cubs, you know, just everything you would basically find at PetSmart, right? So that's, oh, here we have another. This is a really cute little kitty ad, and we have a 7 cents off your Purina cat chow, right? Yeah, Purina cat chow. Still the same name, which is funny. So there is that. Using Purina cat chow will cut down your costs up to 50 cents less a year. So start saving with 7 cents off with this coupon. There you go. And we're getting into some more bakery stuff, all that good stuff here. Lots of baking. This page is cute because this is 50 gifts that cost next to nothing. And especially this year, this is something I'm seeing a lot of people do on YouTube and stuff, is talking about gifts that are either free for you or inexpensive. So this was trending even in 1975, which is really cool. There's gifts to eats, and then there's promissory notes. Oh, this was something actually I did read through and want to share with you, because one of them on here is actually a really, really cute idea, because it says, offer to teach whatever you do particularly well to a niece, nephew, good friend, or coworker. Knitting or photography or French or bread making or tennis or guitar or wallpapering. No such thing as commas, just ors. Write a note and attach it to a symbol of what you will be teaching them. Example, a hank of yarn, a loaf of bread, some tennis socks. And make your offer specific. A course to teach 8 guitar lessons for 2 weeks, intervals at 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for example. A teenager shouldn't offer to help his grandparents do their yard work, but rather give them 2 hours of their Saturday in June, July, and August. Or perhaps spring cleaning their garage or basement in the winter, or snow shoveling. For shut-ins, the promise of a weekly card game with the proper number of players always rounded up. For neighbors, promise to take care of their animals when they are away, so they don't have to go to a kennel. Home beauty treatments, a specified number of haircuts or sets of manicures or colorings. And for teenagers, an offer to bleach or age any of their new jeans next year. That is so thoughtful of you. So that's really, really cute. I love that idea. Honestly, even nowadays, I think if I had someone who gave a crap about learning crochet or knit, I would totally do that. What a thoughtful gift to have someone open like a hank of yarn and not be attached to an experience that involves you two bonding over something new. I think that's really special. So I wanted to share that because I thought that was cute. This is just another ad for liquid dish soap. They are all only directed at women and making sure your hands don't look old and disgusting. This one has a very scary man, and it says, a smile doesn't cost much when you make raisin pudding pie. I will skip on the raisin pudding pie if it keeps me away from this guy coming to my house. So that is a little bit of an unsettling photo, if I do say so myself. We also have these coupons that take 7 cents off of stir fries. What a steal. I guess my grandma was not interested or not falling for any of these coupons, so we don't have anything cut out of this magazine. It is in such good condition for what it is. I think it's so special that she kept this. I don't know why she kept this because she really would get a magazine every year. I don't know if she kept it because she made the specific crochet pattern out of this that we're going to talk about in a little bit here, but regardless, I'm definitely really happy that I have it. Bullet bras. We have bullet bras, guys. So this is the Sears Tricot Aha bra from 32B to a 42 double D. It fits you, not vice versa. It looks like in this ad they're starting to get away from a bullet bra. They don't want it quite as pointy. I think I can show this. Yeah, I can show this. The bottom ones are the bullet bras though, and then the top one is the new design. To me, to be honest, they look kind of similar. Still a little on the pointy side, but all right, ladies, whatever suits you back then. This page is really interesting because it talks about how physicians dislike an emergency call, so you should always be looking out for them first. Also, if you have depression, basically just get over it. Go shovel some snow, drink some coffee. Tend to your husband, make sure he's okay. Don't get a gallbladder attack, that's no good. Don't sprain anything, don't have a hangover, don't get indigestion, and don't have allergies, and don't get bit by your pets, women, okay? It's so funny how these ads are just so, like, this is from A Doctor's World, written by some guy who just tells you about how he doesn't want to be interrupted during his holiday season. What an ad that is for him to write that. Oh, this is a different doctor. I was gonna say, this is what he looks like, but this is a different doctor, and probably another ridiculous ad about all that. And then we get into these really beautiful full pages of decor and stuff like that. I love, love, love the way these look. I think it's so pretty. And we are now to the page of our upcoming pattern next week. Like I said, I just thought it would be fun to really give you a sneak peek of all the options. You guys can put in the comments if there's a certain one you'd rather see me make. I kind of want to make the most disturbing one on here just because it's funny to me. I also have one that I will be showing you next week, that the one my grandmother made for my dad. I have it here with me, so I will share with you what it's going to look like in the end before I make mine, and then we'll compare mine and my grandma's together. Like I said, I just thought that'd be a really fun, cool video. But this is the page with all of the stockings that you can crochet yourself. They have here a baseball cleat, a basketball shoe, an ice skate, a pair of Mary Janes, and just your regular old bare foot. So here is the page with all the stockings. Look how gorgeous this page is with all of these. I really honestly wish I had enough time to make every single one and hang it like this. If I was being honest, I think my favorite one is this ice skate here. Here's the foot, by the way, I think I'm gonna make. The ice skate one is so beautiful, and also the Mary Janes at the end here are really pretty as well. I think those are so cute looking, very fashionable. I would probably put a little like scallop border sock looking thing on the Mary Jane if that's what I was making. But yeah, so this page says that you can find all these on page 117, so it does kind of really try to push you to look through the entire magazine. Just a bunch of more really beautiful photos of the kids in bed at night, all that stuff. Super, super wholesome looking. It looks so cozy, I don't know why. And I think that was really it for all of the things I wanted to show you. Like I said, I could literally just go through this magazine for hours and read every page. It's pretty crazy to go in a time machine and just feel like the world stops for a moment in 1975 and look through it and see what was happening in 1975 from a magazine standpoint. But I do really hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, don't forget to come back next week. We are going to make that pattern of the stocking. I'll be going a lot more into detail on the stocking, how it's constructed, all that stuff. I will, you know, share my step-by-step with you as I do in a lot of my other videos. But I just really thought this would be such a fun little video to have for a Thursday. I know it's something totally different, random, new on my channel. It is the only vintage magazine I have, especially that has crochet related patterns in it, so I thought it'd be a perfect thing to share with you. I hope you found it interesting. I love history and I love this kind of stuff, so looking back into something like this is so fascinating to me. I just, yeah, I really like it, so I hope you enjoyed it too. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, or you want to see what that stocking looks like in the end, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday, and they're always crochet or knit related. Make sure you like this video if you liked it, guys. Share this with your other crochet friends, or maybe someone you know who was alive in 1975. Maybe they need a look back into the 70s. Either way, I appreciate you so much for being here. Thanks for clicking on this video. Thank you for letting me take up a little bit of your time here on the internet today, and I will be seeing you in Monday's video. All right, bye.